How's it going, guys? My name is Tavarish, and today we're going to be going over everything wrong with my 675LT engine. We're going to go into a lot of detail into what exactly is wrong and how much I'm going to spend to fix it. And that amount of money is probably going to be a lot because nothing on this car has been cheap. So if you guys are new to the channel, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy it, and consider subscribing if these are the kinds of cars and projects you like to see. These are definitely what I like to see because there has been a lot of work done. Now, in the last episode, I took out this engine from this car all by myself with no help from anybody that is standing right here. Hey, Jared, how you doing?
How's it going? How'd the engine go?
Good. So this car is my 2016 Mclaren 675LT. They only made 500 of these in the world, and this one was in a really bad crash. Now, this entire series is sponsored by AutoTempest.com. You guys know that I use them for every single car purchase, well, almost every single car purchase worth noting on this channel. Go check them out in the link in the video description. And I also have a new series called FoundOnAutoTempest, where I do a top 10 list of listings on AutoTempest that you guys send me, and I can make fun of them, or I buy them because it's not like I don't have enough cars. So today's theme is going to be cheap cars that make you look rich. If you go on AutoTempest and find a cheap car that makes you look rich, then send it to FoundOnAutoTempest@gmail.com, and if it's good enough, I'll mention it in the video, and if it's not good, then I won't. So before we get into this engine, I wanted to address something that you guys definitely commented on in the last few videos, and that is how sweaty I was. In the last video, I was, oh boy, it was hot. But it turns out there is an actual solution for sweating inside a shop, and that solution is called air conditioning. And guess what I got today? This, my friends, is a mini split air conditioner, and that makes this tolerable. That makes this entire working environment just awesome. And I have 3 of these all over the shop, and that is because of now a friend that I have, and he actually has a YouTube channel called Resurrect. Go check it out in the link in the video description. He has an AC company, and well, I mean, he didn't like give me this for free or a promotion or anything. I did pay for all this, but he did an amazing job installing this. I have one right here, one over there, you can't see it, and then one back there, you also can't see it. So I'm not great at showing you these things. But believe me when I tell you that this shop is so much better than it was. I'm barely even sweating. I'm only sweating because I'm so excited. What do you think?
Oh, it's much better. It's like 91 degrees out, and small sweat when you're not near an AC. So
yeah,
it's an improvement, a substantial improvement. Can you be a little bit more, you know?
Woo! AC! Yeah, there we go! Yeah! Woo! Okay. So let's begin. Here is the engine and transmission. Now, we went over all this in the last episode. Go check that out if you haven't already. But I want to look at this turbo because this turbo is not in great shape. It got smacked right here. You can actually see that it is off kilter on the compressor housing. So I think what we're gonna do now is just take this turbo off, see if we can maybe take off the front section and see what the damage actually is. And then if that damage is really bad and that needs to be replaced or even upgraded, we have to take off both turbos. And after that, we're also gonna take off the bottom subframe section. I'm gonna put that onto my new used frame and see if that is okay as far as being bent, because there's a lot of bend here. So there's a lot of work to do, and let's do it.
Let's get to work.
Jared, can you do everything again?
That wasn't the agreement. I was gonna go sit in the corner and drink some beverage.
$5.
$5.50.
Okay, pop quiz. Which turbo is good? Is it the one that's all symmetrical, or the one that's a little cattywampus?
You're supposed to see daylight through the turbo.
Oh yeah, you can right there. Look.
Totally normal.
This entire cast iron section just snapped right off, which is interesting because I would think that this aluminum, yeah.
Well, the way the snap rings seat in that aluminum, it is a surprisingly strong area, and it binds to a very tight compression fit. Pulling these snap rings is a nightmare. So the way these front aluminum sections come out on a lot of factory turbos and some aftermarket is you have super high tension snap ring that will expand and just lock everything in there. So the joy of trying to get this further apart to evaluate more damage is you have an extremely high tension part under a whole lot more tension from being crashed.
Or it's just broken and there's no tension. But that's not what.
No, that's never how it works. I also appreciate how that oil drain is fully impacting. So, step one is we remove our wastegate. If you don't know what a wastegate is, there's a certain point where you get too much exhaust energy driving your turbocharger.
Too much boost.
Too much boost, and it will then open this valve. And what that does is instead of the air coming in here and turning the turbine, which this isn't going to turn, it's stuck, it goes directly past it. Bypass valve wastegate.
So when all the Honda kids want all the boost, all they do is
just weld that.
Yeah, you just weld that shut, and you get all the boost, and then your engine goes kaboom.
Normally, you do a quick hammer with a punch to kind of unseat. So while this part is a very common part, the TD04 center section, this is fairly unique to the Mclaren. So whatever we're doing, we want to try to protect this part of the turbo. So we need to look at trying to basically center our destructive effort only on that center section and snap ring.
I like that term, destructive effort. I really enjoy that term.
When we're talking about your very expensive Mclaren parts.
Yes.
This side is getting stuck.
Okay, that's because it's look. Here, help. Okay. Let a real expert do this, okay?
Real expert.
Let a
broken hack.
I have done this literally like no
this
times. Boom. Look, right there. See? Was that so hard?
Can't quite fully see it. Oh, and unfortunately a lot of other numbers we might need are broken away, but...
Well, we got all the pieces here, so we can put it together. We have the technology.
Look at how uneven. Let's see, can I get that, hold it right? But what matters...
is that this is not... This actually isn't... No, this isn't too gouged.
So it has some slight marring there, but honestly, this is a potential just quick sanding refinish, and that turbo will still be well within spec, which gives us the dilemma, Freddie.
What's the dilemma?
Do you just fix it stock, or do they both go?
I mean,
and you make them a little bigger.
I feel like since we had so much issue with this turbo in this car, we have to go big. We have to upgrade them.
Well, by go big, I mean
so very slightly
kind
bigger.
of tiny.
Yeah.
So it doesn't take much to go big.
We decided to take out some more components to this turbo, and we actually got it spinning. Look, it spins really nicely.
It's perfect on this side. Don't look. Don't look over there.
That's not exactly straight. Here is the compressor wheel, and you can see that it just dug in right to the side, so it was just like bang. And the entire wheel is screwed. It is a billet wheel, billet aluminum, and it is very, very light. And obviously this was for a lightweight sports car, but now it is lightweight junk. And no, I'm not gonna sell this with a t-shirt. I'm probably gonna leave this as, you know what? This is gonna be your new...
My new bling.
It could be like your little corsage for the prom. All right, so Turbo 101, we took apart the insides, and check this out. So it turns out McLaren uses a older technology turbo. This is very similar to what Subarus and Mitsubishis use, and this right here, it's called a journal bearing, and journal bearing just rides on a cushion of oil, very high pressure oil, but oil nonetheless. Now, a newer technology will be ball bearings, and they use little ball bearings to make these turbos spin up very, very fast. Now, the journal bearings usually have slower spool up times, which increases lag. Now, the ball bearings have less spool up time, but they also aren't as good at like launch control, not necessarily launch control, but just like the big, you know, fire pops and flames and all that.
When you're abusing a turbo with anti-lag and launch control, high temperature things.
They don't like to be oversped because these go up to like 150,000 RPM. So you want these things to be balanced very, very well. And it's interesting to me that McLaren, with all its technology, would use something as old as this, but this is probably more robust. So there's some method to the madness. Now, I wanted to know how big the turbos were. So I got my caliper, and these, well, this compressor wheel has a 46, actually, no, is this 40? No, it's not 46. There's a piece missing. This is around a 49 millimeter inducer. That's like this right here in the front, and the exducer is a 58 millimeter. So 49 to 58, that is roughly what, like a Subaru turbo or something?
Yeah, like looking through wheel upgrades just to see how easily we could replace them, that matches right up with a Subaru or a Dacia diesel BMW engine.
Okay, all right, so basically that's it. Now, I know that there's more to it than that. This is a billet aluminum wheel. This is a 12 fin design, 12
blade.
12 blade, there we go.
A lot of times you'll see an advertised 11 blade where it's 11 large blades. Some of the newer flow technology where this would be a 12 blade even though you see 11 is they have these smaller half blades.
Yeah, right there.
Part way down. So compressor wheel technology has come so far in the past couple years that if you've read up on turbos 3 years ago, you're out of date.
We're gonna see what this all cost. I know that I sourced another good used turbo, and what do you think it is? Actually, you know what? You guys pause the video, write in the comments, and then I will not look. It's $3,300
for used.
For used, yeah. For new, I don't know. That's probably $10,000.
So what if I told you I have a friend that can probably make those a little bit better, probably a lot less.
Okay, so sold. Sold.
That was easy.
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna pack both of these up, and we're gonna send them off to see if they can get rebuilt. Obviously, this center section is trashed. A lot of this is trashed. We're gonna see what we can salvage. But now, for realsies, we're gonna go work on the engine, right?
Yeah, we will. It's just fun, because how often do you have a broken McLaren turbo that when you ask everybody...
Hopefully not very often, because,
true.
Man, it was hard to get to this.
But nobody knew what turbos the 675LT has. No. That was unknown.
Yeah.
So, world first, there's your...
There you go. You heard it here first.
McNugget delivers a McNugget of information. Journal bearing...
A little McNugget of truth. That's what I like to call it. Okay, so here is what could be a very, very, very bad situation.
I can put inches of torque on it. I mean, it should be good, right?
See, that bolt goes in, but yeah, you should not be able to see that.
See the bolt there. So what's good though is with it in, despite most of the block missing, is it's straight, it's true, and relatively strong. So that's gonna help us in the repair that we want to make. So we have it together like it would be, that the mount would normally be. And you can see how this spacer sits flat. And then we have this large area back here for the welding repair. So a couple things that are working in our favor is most of the block is intact in the very front of it, and that's going to help with our alignment like we were talking about. When we slide this back, you can see we have most of that flat base that still exists for our spacer and kind of final alignment piece. And as we're looking, this block actually has a huge airspace there. It actually, the boss kind of drops back away from the head gasket. So that's gonna help when we try to keep our thermal barrier. We can just build a huge dam of the thermal insulation paste in there, because this is where our head gasket is. So it's gonna help.
Really close. Usually, this would be a complete write-off just because of those aforementioned issues. Also, you look like you have a little mustache made of vacuum lines.
Making this block repair following the textbook would be a complete disassembly of the entire block. Everything comes completely apart, and there are proper textbook ways of doing this. What we're doing is doing it the wrong way,
the right way.
So
doing the wrong thing the right way, yes.
Yeah,
so I want to find out very quickly if this is...
We know right away if you're gonna take another hit to the bank account.
Yep. Here is the replacement frame, and this actually came from a 2016 McLaren 650S, which is close enough. So let's take out the suspension.
How much is that new from McLaren?
About $14,000. This was not $14,000. I think I got this on eBay for like $2,000 because it had, well, there's a little bit of damage, but nothing to write home about. Honestly, it's really not bad.
Now this is fixable. There's a couple sheared bolts and a very minor crack, but it's not bent.
The good thing about these cars is that they are actually built to be very, very lightweight. So this entire frame weighs like nothing. It is like very, very light. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the piece in question.
And what piece was that?
Ow, the piece that just stabbed me right in the hand. Ow.
Oh. In case you didn't know, crashed carbon fiber
very, very, very sharp.
is insanely sharp. It gives you the worst splinters that you will ever experience.
Yep. Ow.
All right.
This should slot right in.
Okay.
And
okay.
And I mean, that's in there. So I don't have to spend any more money except on Band-Aids. Ow, that really hurt.
Hopefully. What does this green mean?
That means that you can actually put a jack or a jack stand onto that port of the car. So
McLaren was kind of nice. There's 6 green dots.
Yep.
Do you have any green eggs?
What?
Big green egg?
Big green... What?
You've never heard of a big green egg?
No. What are you talking about?
It's a smoker to make barbecue.
What are you talking about?
A big green egg to make barbecue in? You've never seen... This is a real thing.
I have no idea I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
What about green eggs and ham?
Yes, it's a book.
Okay. Well, you're 1 for 2.
Okay.
That's a real thing.
All right, I'm taking... You have no more privileges. All right, so that's going to be it for this episode. I'm so glad that the engine is now able to be rolled, and in the next episode, we're going to be taking off that frame. We're going to be taking off all those body panels, so that is just a bare carbon shell. So I'd like to thank Jared for helping with everything.
And my sarcasm?
So until next time, this is me reminding you guys that on cars like these with awesome engines that are about to be even more awesome when they actually run, you guys need to build it better. And to do that, what do you got to do?
You got to wrench every day.
Well said. Well said.